Live from New Bedford, ladies and gentlemen, this is the YouTube channel blog show of authenticity, inspiration, and realness, also of good times, personality, and fun. This is Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, and now, here's your host of the show. He is Big Beefy E. He is Mr. Shenanigans and the elder statesman of the Rant and Rave podcast, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode 1290 of the show. I'm Eric Lima, your host. What's going on, everybody? That's right. And just finished watching Bofus and the Sophist and dodged a huge bullet. I'll tell you what I mean by that. I was trying to do... I bought a new thing. I bought a new one of these. Those TV drives, those large TV drives, because the 5 TV drive, it looked like it was almost full, and that's why it took a long time loading in, and it caused my computer. I had to restart my computer and all that good stuff. But I was afraid I was going to download all my videos from this great channel that you guys have been subscribing to, and now I would save them, but. Don't have to worry about that now because it's dodged a bullet. So I do apologize to the Bofa boys for some of the comments I made about my dang computer, but that's okay. Everything is set. Dodged a bullet there. That's some good news. Now, but with that out of the way, I want to talk about, this is the final week of March, and like I said, March has been pretty decent. So pretty decent. Like everything that I had to deal with has been dealt with. I'm going to talk about this guy right here, the British Bulldog. Watched his documentary, Legends documentary on Biography Legends documentary last night on A&E. It was, it was a kind of a tribute to him, and also it showed his human side. British Bulldog has been made a hero. In fact, I believe he's like the Hulk Hogan of England, if you think about it, because he was one of the most, if not the most popular wrestler in England, in his home country, and for him to, to get that big support in his home country, I thought it was so super cool. I mean, being part of Stampede Wrestling and meeting his wife Diana, who is the sister of Bret Hart. And that, that whole ordeal, it was, and for him to go to the WWE and didn't know that his cousin was such a bad influence on Davey, the Dynamite Kid. I didn't know he was that bad influence, and been known River and all that good stuff. And the thing here is too that they talk about, the guy's accomplishments. They didn't dive into his accomplishments as much. When they won the tag team titles in WrestleMania 2 with the Dynamite Kid, when he won the Intercontinental title. They talked about the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. That was like SummerSlam 1992. That was like one of the biggest moments of the Bulldog's career. And there were times where, he took steroids, he took some drugs and all that. And it got, everything had happened. And I think in the 90s, after, he was released, taking HGH from someone in England, they had to release him. But before then, they had him drop the title to Shawn Michaels in later 92. And then it was really, really sad to hear that. And then, the WCW didn't work out well, over there. He didn't have a greater run than he did in the WWE. The WWE was where the more money has been made. He knew that he, because he was like, him and his family have an income. You got 2 mouths, of course, to feed. And then, so he spent a couple of years in WCW, like a year and a half in WCW, then came back in 94, turned heel in 95, And he was went until 1997. Then the whole Montreal screw job happened. Bulldog left and supported the Hitman, and then he came back in 1999. I figured, in 1999, I figured he came back to finish his story, and because he's held, prior to his return, he held in the WWE, he held the tag team title, the Intercontinental title, the European title, and he wanted to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Triple H decided to play mind games with him. He turned his back on The Rock and everybody else, and just, that whole storyline there. And I was kind of hoping then, because then you had the situation where Anvil and Anvil and Bulldog took on Kurt Hennig and someone else, I believe. And when Bulldog was slammed, it was on the top of his back was slammed on the trap door that Warrior was supposed to come out of for the War Games match. And so that's in WCW. And so a little more period in WCW, then he went back to the WWE again. He was bouncing back between the two organizations between 92 and 99 for 7 years. And he was like back and forth. And it was really sad that he passed. He was trying to patch things up with his wife and his kids. He was ready to help his son out, Harry, to be a wrestler and all that. He was going to team with his son. He was hoping to come back to the WWE to team with his son, but he passed away in 2002. I know Harry went by the name Davey Boy Smith Jr. to honor his father and the British Bulldog. Back and forth. He tried, going to WWE, left the WWE, came back, and I'm kind of hoping that they take a look into Harry once again. And here's the deal. If Cody Rhodes can come back and try to finish his story, I think Harry Smith, a.k.a. Davey Boy Smith Jr., should come back and finish the story. Because to me, the British Bulldog, pound for pound, was one of the greatest wrestlers ever without a world title. And when I put that tweet, he didn't want to get himself tagged in it, which is fine. I can understand that. Because I think it kind of bothers him a little bit, which, hey, I'm hoping if Harry's watching this, man, and he follows me on Twitter, so I am hoping that Harry Smith goes back to the WWE and finishes the story for his father. I want to see him come back to the WWE and become the champion. I like to see him feud with Cody Rhodes or him feud with Seth Rollins or something like that. He hasn't held a singles title. He's held a tag team title. That's about it. And in my personal opinion, I think some great matches. I like to see him. Davey Boy Smith Jr. versus Seth Rollins. I like to see that matchup. Him against Gunther for the Intercontinental title. I like to see. I also love to see. Let me see. Him against Damian Priest one-on-one for the Money in the Bank. I like to see him win the Money in the Bank, for goodness sakes. And I'm hoping right now. I know he's an MLW, joining the WTF faction. He's one half of the tag team champs with Filthy Tom Lawler, and I am hoping that Davey Boy Smith Jr. does come back to WWE and try to finish the story for his father. I'm a big Bulldog fan. Always have been. Always will be. The British Bulldog, and I can do my impression of him a little bit. I'm the British Bulldog. Will be the next World Wrestling Federation champion. And if Bulldog was still alive and still can go, I'd like to see him against Gunther for the Intercontinental title again, or him against Seth Rollins. He can probably finish his own story. Him and Roman Reigns, that would be a heck of a matchup. That would have been a heck of a matchup. But or you can go down to NXT and go for the Heritage Cup, trying his hand in that. I think if Bulldog was still alive, he would have been been like a coach, or he could have been a general manager up in NXT UK, or be an assistant instead of Sid Scala, in my personal opinion. I know Sid was very young, but for Johnny Saint, Bulldog would have been a great general manager. I could see or Bulldog could be like a coach and a mentor to some of the NXT UK superstars, something like that, and he would have been that would have been good. Owen Hart, if he was still alive, same thing. He would have been he said he wanted to be a school teacher, and then that would have been fine too. But if he wanted to stick in wrestling instead of actually wrestling as much and doing his crazy Blue Blazer gimmick, he would have mentored the next generation of wrestlers. He would have, if NXT opened up, it would have been great to see him there. He would have been a great commentator. That's another thing he can do. He could have done. I don't know, but it was real tough. But I'm glad that the British Bulldog is in the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm very happy. I'm always going to be a Bulldog fan. I always kind of hope, what if Bulldog was still alive? What if he can still go in the ring? Well, what if he comes back to WWE in some different capacity? What if, But, Georgia, Diana, and Harry all poured their hearts out, and my heart goes out to them. I'm sure they miss him so, and they're willing to carry the legacy of the British Bulldog alive. And now Harry's trying to do it in the ring, and Georgia's doing it through the internet and all that, and they're trying to get him recognized in England once again, being a Hall of Fame type of deal, and over there, and I'm hoping he does so. And I'm a big Bulldog fan, so yeah, I do miss the British Bulldog, and the documentary was good, was great, and it covered everything in every facet of his life, and it really shows that he is a human being. He was a human being with feelings, and he had, I'm sure the back of it, but at the same time, he was one of the greatest wrestlers ever, without being a world champion. And I was, that's the only sad thing I would stand. Bulldog would have been. I knew he was close to being champion a couple of times in 1999, but it didn't work out. I blame Vince for that. You know what I mean? But anyways, like I said, I miss the Bulldog. So that's my thoughts on the documentary, The Bulldog. Very well done, and I know, you show, Bulldog is a human, and he loved his family, and so, and how much his family loved him. So, and they cared about him. They do care about him, and when he was going through all that, Diana was threatening to leave him, and he hoping that it motivates him to quit the drugs, quit everything, and clean himself up. But the drugs ended up catching up with him. He died in 2002. In fact, 22 years ago, man. In this May, it's really. But I'm hoping all the wrestlers from the UK continue his legacy, and I'm praying that Harry Smith continue his legacy and goes back to the WWE one day and completes the stories for his father. And that's what I'm hoping, for that to happen. But right now, the WWE is where it's at. In fact, in about a couple of minutes, we'll be watching Monday Night Raw. A few things of note: the Becky Lynch book is coming out tomorrow. I'm gonna get it on Wednesday. Hopefully, that'll be a part of a VPA video. I want to thank Gary and the rest of the Bofa crew for giving me a shout out and plugging my channel as always. Like I said, promise. Promises. I got to get some gameplays going. I do apologize for that. I'm hoping to do that very, very soon. I got a vacation another vacation coming up in a couple of weeks, and I'm hoping to do the thing, all right? So, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Let's see, I bought a few more things on eBay. They'll be coming in soon, and hopefully we get a VPA going on that. So, that's it. That's all the time we have on the show. Episode 1290 is complete, and like I said, it's about the British Bulldog documentary and what I think of it. If you haven't watched it yet, please go watch it. I'm sure they'll stream it somewhere on an A&E website or something like that. So I'm hoping they do that. All right, thank you for tuning in, and until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, please take us home. Time for Raw. That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, do it for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.